Welcome back, everybody, to more MSQ playthrough. We are in the latter half of Dawntrail. We are in Vanguard. No, we are in Heritage Found, and we're going to speak with some farmhands. Let's go ahead and hop into it. Light levels appear to be fine. As for the power source, you wish to know about my job. I tend to the fields mostly, watering the crops, keeping the soil fertile, and so on. It admittedly took some time until I fully understood how best to carry out my duties. I also manage the lamps we use in the fields. We do our best to keep everything up to code, but should they ever start to malfunction, it's up to me to fix them. The land and sky being what they are, ensuring a rich harvest makes for constant work, but honestly, I enjoy how involved the process is. Both my parents being Alexandrian, I didn't grow up knowing much of anything about farming. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. Oh, an unfamiliar face. I gather this is your first time on site then. Well, this here's the storehouse, or rather the entrance. The real storehouse is underground, much more spacious, and equipped with a temperature regulation system to keep the harvest from spoiling. Since the entrance is so small, it's much easier to prevent wild beasts from wandering inside, which also makes it a viable facility for breeding and raising livestock. We've even got a few beds down there for emergencies. My parents often complain about how Alexandrian technology and electro complicate our lives, but it's rather just a matter of learning how things work. Take my job, for instance. I'm presently overseeing the storage of harvested crops. They'll be taken up to the tower for processing, and from there, find their way to every dining table in Alexandria. The work is hard, I'll not deny, but I take great satisfaction in what we do. They're saying that you and yours are visitors from beyond the barrier. That true? So it is. Which means we're connected to the outside world again. Not that I have a desire to leave, mind you. I'm quite content with life here in Alexandria. But setting that aside, you're here to observe our work, right? As you can see, I'm in charge of livestock. Here at UPA's Halo, we produce not only fruits and vegetables, but also meat, poultry, and eggs. Tending the animals is an absolute joy, but I have to be careful not to grow attached. It's always a little sad when they're shipped off, but a job is a job. Well, I need to get back to it, but it was nice talking to you. Please give my regards to the Queen. Can I jump back over this? Yes, I can. I see. Don't be too hard on yourself. Anyone would have been hard-pressed to deal with such a thing. Oh, welcome back. My apologies for failing to notice your return. I gather you've had your fill of speaking with the farmers, then let us return to Mausa. Well, what are your impressions of the farm? Everything was surprisingly normal. That's comforting to hear. Your words serve to affirm that my people do not work with undue strain. And what did you think of our little tour, Lamachi? What did you call me? Was that inappropriate? My apologies, I heard the others call you by that name and I thought... No, it's fine. As you said before, we've no need for titles and formalities. As for my thoughts, I was very impressed. That machines could be used to overcome so harsh an environment is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. That feeling is understandable. Indeed, many still find the machinery behind me baffling. It's a system that controls the distribution of water for the fields and livestock. It's been acting up lately, though. Acting up, you say? You needn't worry, my queen. It happens fairly often, but simply it's taken in water that had a strong lightning charge. We think some creature might have charged up with the energy and they're releasing it into the river we use as a source. The system would return to normal if the creature were dealt with, but I'm reluctant to beg it of the army. We could take care of it if you'd like. That is most gracious of you to offer, but it is too dangerous. It's no trouble for the vow of resolve of Tulial. Regardless of how the relationship between our nations may develop, if there are people in need, I want to help. Simple as that. And MSQ is even stronger than I am. It shouldn't take us long at all. Then very well, I gratefully accept, but please take all care. This ought to go even faster if you and I search for lightning-charged fiends on our own. Good hunting. Sorry, getting comfortable. Ah, you're both alright, thank goodness. You really needn't have worried so much. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends. They're all gone now. Of course I was worried, you are my dear guests. But thank you, we truly appreciate this. Indeed, with this we won't have to ask Raljar's machines for help. He's been making a concerted effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a fraction for the people's protection. He thinks nothing of our safety, unlike Queen Sphene. That's enough, Mahuza. If you have grievances, I will hear them later, but to speak of the king now... No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his people. Anyway, thanks for letting us tour the farm. The folk here are delightful, and it was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favored us more with uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. And you never failed to let us know, nor how much you care. Of course, you're my precious family, all of you. You seem a good sports fiend, that I'll admit. But you'll forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. For you to be called that, I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Come now, this is no laughing matter. A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives, and one wrong decision can lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconscionable. Now, I believe we are done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we? Perhaps we should head back to the outskirts. I dare say your friends will also have returned by now. My thanks again for dealing with the fiends. Come and visit us anytime. I love when the sound just cuts out. Ah. Computer froze for a second. Got scared that the recording was gonna go shit. Alright. Do you hear that?
What's happening over there?
It's nearly time.
Well, that didn't explain anything.
I'm glad you could make it.
Is that Namika?
Are you with us?
Queen's Fiend has come to see you.
It is her.
We're here, Namika. Everything is going to be all right.
Oh.
What's the matter, dear?
It can't be. That's the bangle I gave to Namika.
You know her?
Of course I know her. She was like a mother to me.
I see. She was always willing to lend a kindly ear to others, but rarely did she ever speak of herself.
Is it really you?
She must have arrived shortly before the barrier manifested. For us, it was perhaps days, but for her...
Namika, it's me. Wuklamat.
I'm afraid her time with us is nearly at an end. Has she no more soul cells?
She always used hers sparingly, but at her age, it wouldn't make a difference.
Ma'am, the ushers have arrived.
Thank you, Namika, for your many years of friendship. Take comfort in the knowledge that this is not the end. Be not afraid. Your memory will live on in us.
Living on in memory. The giants share a similar belief.
Wait, where are you taking her?
Worry not. She is being escorted to a medical facility in the tower. There we will ease her burden. I had hoped to make arrangements for her sooner, but she wished to remain here for as long as possible. I could not bring myself to refuse her.
Is there any way I might stay with her for a little while longer? We may not share the same blood, but she was my mother. Please.
Let us give them some time alone.
She didn't speak, but I'm grateful that I could be with her at the end. Thank you.
It's not the end. Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that we have much to discuss. Where shall we begin?
With what we can be reasonably certain of, perhaps. Between what we have witnessed and the testimony of Alexandria's inhabitants, it's safe to say that two distinct lands have indeed become one. What's more, having met Namika, there is no denying the divergence in the passage of time. Taken together, these phenomena strongly suggest that some manner of cross-rift displacement has occurred. Specifically, the displacement of Alexandria from another reflection to the source.
It does seem the most likely explanation.
What perplexes me, however, is the scale of said displacement. It far exceeds what could conceivably be achieved with a void gate, or even with the Crystal Tower. In essence, we are dealing with a localized instance of dimensional compression. The Ascians would no doubt liken it to a rejoining. Which invites the question, how was such a feat accomplished?
I wish that I had an answer for you, but this talk of reflections and dimensions is well beyond my understanding. I can only tell you that we lived peacefully under the barrier's protection for many, many years, until the day that peace was suddenly broken.
If I may clarify, the barrier predates Alexandria's displacement.
By several hundred years, yes. To when the continent we call home was ravaged by a devastating cataclysm. The barrier was erected to isolate us from the surrounding land's noxious influence.
I see. And it was only later that it was whisked away, along with its contents, by means unknown.
In other words, Sphyn's as lost as the rest of us, right? The Alexandrians didn't mean to end up in Tural.
But of course, our next stop ought to be Everkeep. That tower over yonder. Once you have been registered as my guests, you will have access to Solution 9 and its residential district, where you will doubtless gain invaluable insight into Alexandria's state of affairs. Unfortunately, I cannot take you directly to where Zoralja resides.
That you'd let us in it all goes a long way toward proving you're not content to let Zoralja do as he pleases. But we're not talking about a simple difference of opinion here. I've come to avenge my father. And to do so, I intend to take Zoralja's life. Are you willing to stand by and allow Alexandria's king to be slain?
A fair question. Permit me to answer it thus. My people come first. Their welfare is paramount. I will do everything in my power to keep them from harm. It is a ruler's duty. Now, I am off to register you at Everkeep. It may take some time, but you shall find the entrance open to you in due course. Oh, and ere I forget, your mother, Kafkiwa, you might try the Thunder Yards to the east.
The Thunder Yards? Is that where she is?
I am afraid I can say no more than that. Make for the Thunder Yards, and all will be made clear.
It's not as if we have other pressing business. Not until we can get into this Everkeep, anyway. Thank you for earlier. And for being a friend to Namika these past 30 years. It means a lot to me.
Namika? I'm sorry, but I don't know who you mean.
What? We were just with her. If this is some sort of a joke, it isn't funny.
I don't mean to give offense, but I honestly have no idea who you are talking about. I'm sorry.
How can you not know who she is? You're in charge here. She was under your care.
Then in all likelihood, my memories of her have been stored in the cloud. Any person seemingly forgotten without reason is probably there, in the cloud. Oh, I really must be getting back to work. If you'll excuse me.
Things just got even more interesting. What's going on? How could Pepwane suddenly forget about Namika? It's as if he never knew her. The same thing have happened to others as well, I wonder. There's only one way to find out. Let's make inquiries about Namika in the area. We can reconvene afterwards at the Aetheryte. That's what the Queen alluded to, is that she's not really gone, it's not the end. An old woman named Namika. I'm afraid I don't know that person. I'm sorry I couldn't be of help. What's that? Do I know an Namika? Never met anyone by that name, and I've worked at the outskirts for a good while now. If she'd spent time here, I would remember. Yeah, you were just talking to her. I do recall caring for someone until recently, and you say that it was a woman named Namika. While I can't say for certain if it was her, I wouldn't worry. I'm sure she's just been taken up to the cloud. So it was the same for everyone. Not a single person remembers Namika. It's as if the memory of her has been purged from their minds. While such a thing might be done with magic, to alter the memories of so many at once would be a tremendous undertaking. We would have felt a surge of aether corresponding to the act too, and I sensed none in that moment. Neither did I, but I did notice something else. Right before Pepperone seemingly forgot, the light in the device on his head began to blink. Could there be a connection? Someone also said something about soul cells. But who might we ask about this? If we continued making such inquiries, I expect we would only cause confusion. Indeed. If we can't readily solve the mystery about Namika, perhaps we could search for Kahikuya instead. Spin said to try the Thunder Guards. It should be in this direction. What is that? Impossible. Impossible? Not the kind of mechanical soldier. It looks dangerous. We'd better destroy it. Should we give chase? I think it understood our words. It might be worth asking it some questions. Erenville, are you alright? You look like you've seen a ghost. It's nothing, I'm fine. Well, it went off in the direction we're headed anyway, so let's try to track it down. You found it. To the northeast. Then it must be bound for the mines. Come on then. It could well be a trap, so let's not rush into it too quickly. I heard faint voices coming from inside, so it's not alone. But we're still going in, of course. This may be a trap. Be ready for a fight, everyone. Not gonna bother with the... It's right here, might as well. Feels like a waste to not get it when it's right there. I can hear them. Several people up ahead. I can't make out their conversation with the echoing. Let's keep going. Stay on our guard.
What is this?
Ironville!
A trap?
It really is you!
Huh?
Who?
I just had to get a look at you in the light, and I can still hardly believe my eyes. But it is you, my darling Olympia!
My darling, what now?
Is this Mom?
Oh, it's so good to see you, my fussy little bun bun. But what are you doing here? What brings you all this way?
I see a little bun bun.
Why the long face? Aren't you happy to see me after all this time?
I'd know that laugh anywhere. Mother?
Wait. Since when was your mother a weird floating thing?
And what have we here? Say, aren't you Galoo Jaja's kitten? I knew I recognized that adorable fuzzy face. Ellen Espear was always so excited whenever you invited him over to play. You remember me, I hope?
I can't say that I do, but you know my father?
Appearances notwithstanding, it would seem this is my mother, Kafkiwa.
I'm sorry?
Kafkiwa.
Oh, but this won't do. Come in! Friends of my Ellen Espear are always welcome.
ask is a little forewarning, but no.
This must be some resistance of some kind.
Just when I thought I was starting to get a handle on this place, how are things still getting stranger?
As far as I can tell, this is indeed my mother. I can think of few people in the world quite so spirited, but as to what's happened, we'll need to ask her. Let's hear what she has to say. Ooh, this music though. To do her voice too. It's so wonderful to meet you all. And the students of Baldesion. It's been a while since I heard that name. Dare I ask the reason for your appearance? Oh, this? It's just a body that I control remotely. I use this for our operations. We're members of a resistance organization, called it Oblivion, we call ourselves, and our goal is to thwart Zoralja's ambitions for conquest. As the leader, it's prudent that I remain where I can't be easily found. I see. Whimsical appearances notwithstanding, yours is a serious cause. Right you are, though truth be told, Oblivion was founded for an altogether different purpose. That is... As I expect you've already noticed, everything you see within this dome, the buildings, the people, the very earth beneath our feet, is a fusion of two worlds. Stopping such a fusion was Oblivion's original mission. Then does that mean you know who or what is responsible for it? I'm afraid not. This was a long time ago, and our mission statement has become more of a legend that's passed down to members. The time we joined, our sole objective was stopping Zoralja. But we failed to do that, and now he's taken his army outside the dome. None of you wear those strange devices on your heads. Does that have something to do with your work? You mean this? It's a regulator, the pinnacle of electro technology, and that we don't wear it is indeed related to our operations. What exactly does it do? Allow me to explain. Regulators have two primary functions. The first, as the name suggests, is the regulation of the wearer's reserve of souls. Should they die, the regulator expends a soul to bring them back to life. Reserve? You mean people walk around carrying spare souls? They do. Souls are packaged in cells, and they can be used to replenish the life force that is lost due to sudden death, such as in accidents. They do nothing for those who die of old age, though. Distribution of soul cells is based on one's work evaluation, to encourage exemplary performance when fulfilling their duties. Souls is a common resource, and payment for services rendered. The void-sent practice of consuming others for their aether comes to mind. And similarly, I expect that the act comes with some risk. Doesn't it dilute your sense of self? That is prevented through memory management, a process in which regulators also play a role. Memory management? Then the reason everyone has forgotten Namika's existence. The regulators are constantly recording the memories of their wear, so if they should suddenly die, their memories can be refreshed as part of the restoration process. This is how they preserve one's identity and sense of self. However, regulators are also triggered when someone else dies. Reason being is that regulators forcibly extract memories relating to the deceased from anyone wearing one. Why would they do such a thing? It's a kindness bestowed upon the people by Everkeep's core system, so that no one has to suffer the pain of loss. So this is what is meant by their memories being in the cloud. Indeed, all memories of the deceased are wiped from the minds of the people and archived in the system. It's a frightening function of the regulators and an integral step in soul cell production. You see, when a person dies of natural causes, their soul is temporarily housed within the regulator. It's then delivered to a facility where memories are separated from the soul. That's what they were doing. That's what the soldiers were doing. That's what the mechanical soldiers were doing with their little stuff. The result is a fresh soul cell free of impurities, ready for distribution and consumption. But why was there one blue and one red when it extracted it out of a toluolin? Meanwhile, the memories are stored in the core system to be remembered forever. And this is why people are happy here. On its surface, it's similar to the Yukoi philosophy, but I see nothing noble or comforting in it. Well, it doesn't seem so terrible to me personally. All comes down to what you're used to, I suppose. Like the barrier encasing Alexandria, the system was created to overcome the calamity that transformed the world hundreds of years ago. Amidst the mounting death toll, scientists used Electrope to devise a means to save what lives they could so that the nation could endure. I understand the people of Alexandria did what they believed was best to save their people. I just find it hard to believe the Torali would also accept this way of living. It came as a shock to us as well. In fact, a great many were opposed to it. Which is why the use of regulators was never compulsory. The people have always been free to go without them if they so wish. Sveen didn't strike me as the sort of ruler to impose her will on others. Ah, so you've met already. She's the one who suggested we come to the Thunder Yards in the first place. She also said she wants to help us stop Zoralja. Awfully kind of her to point you in my direction, and to speak so candidly as well. Whatever her motives, she has given the people a choice. Live with the risk of true death or the security of the regulators. Everything that lives must someday die. That is the natural order of things. Quite right, but however you feel about them, it would be easier to understand what the regulators are capable of if you saw it yourself. I know just the person to show you, and as luck would have it, they should be starting work right about now. What are you going to see exactly? Come with me and you'll find out. assuming we exit. Everyone here? Good. It is the responsibility of the Thunder Guards hunters to fell any fiends found wandering the area. We're to meet an acquaintance of mine, Strika, one of these hunters. Kafkia, what are you doing here, and with so many friends? Apologies for the interruption, but I was hoping they might observe you at work. Hunting, you mean? That's fine, I guess. Hold on. I assumed they were wearing special regulators like Queen's Fiend's crown, but they aren't wearing anything at all. It's much too dangerous to be here without one. What if they're struck by lightning or attacked by beasts? I can assure you they're all quite capable of looking after themselves. If anything should go amiss, I will take full responsibility. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Danger aside, there really isn't much to see. Afkia said you are a hunter, but wouldn't it be easier for those mechanical soldiers to guard this place? It would, if not for the fact that they're weak to lightning. The Thunder Yard being what it is, they've been ordered to steer clear. Some good they are, eh? But these facilities are vital to the upkeeping of Alexandria's infrastructure, so it falls to hunters like me to deal with any fiends. Given the danger, we're well compensated for our work. It's a perfect profession for anyone looking to build up savings. The special selection of souls for hunters isn't terrible either. I brought this lot here to see this danger you speak of, if it's not too much trouble to ask. Of course, in which case it'd be a shame to waste my efforts on just any old beast. You all can handle yourselves in a fight, right? If you cause a ruckus slaying what critters you see nearby, there's a chance you'll draw out something worthy of a demonstration. I'm not sure I understand, but I suppose we should slay each what we can. Defective sentries. Oh, because they probably got struck by lightning. This one will do nicely. She's a monk, hell yeah. One of my favorite classes. We'll help you. It's fine, really. I faced worse. Just watch. I don't like the looks of this. Let us help. Oh no. Look out. Preserve. She needs healing. That was embarrassing. The bastard caught me off guard. Are you mad? Seriously, let us help. I told you not to worry. This will only take a moment. Oh, that's sick. Thumbnail. That's the thumbnail, baby. As my friend likes to say, monk go burr. Just like Zralja. Come on, let's get out of here. That's also a function of the regulator. I think I understand now how Zralja was able to return from the dead and defeat Papa, but I'm not sure what we saw at the end there. As soon as the regulator turned red, it was as if you were possessed. Your movements became beast-like. Don't tell me. You empowered yourself with the soul of a beast. I'm reminded of the serpentine soldier we encountered at Vanguard who did the same. So you've crossed paths with one of the King's elite. Such a form can only be achieved from gorging yourself on souls. We could do the same in theory, but it's incredibly dangerous. Besides, it's not as if they'd allow hunters to carry that many souls to begin with. Well, I should be getting back to work. Take care. And there you have it. Regulators can be loaded with two kinds of souls, those of peoples and those of beasts. Souls of people can be used to grant the user preternatural strength. Naturally, they can also be used to ensure no one suffers an untimely death. And what about the souls of beasts? They work much in the same fashion, imbuing you with the strength of the chosen animal. If, for example, you use the soul of a wolf, you would grow more agile and feral, as you saw with Shrika. Using several of the same type at once, however, will result in physical changes. Your teeth might become fangs, your nails claws. Too many and you'll become some more beast than men. Changing one's form through the soul of other beings, it becomes more and more reminiscent of Void Scent. Yet unlike the Void, where the cycle of death and rebirth is simply broken, souls here are forcibly taken before they might reach the ethereal sea. Different means to achieve similar ends. A cycle to which all within the dome are bound. This is wrong. This is all wrong. It is indeed hard to accept, being so far removed from our own beliefs. Perhaps more shocking is that the technology to achieve all this was developed hundreds of years ago. The civilizations and the reflections are surprising indeed. I'm just curious as to why, when there was a soul extraction in Taliyolal, that the person extracted a regular soul and a beast soul. That was intriguing. Yeah. That's weird. Alright, anyways, more questions for a later time. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps out a bunch. We'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care.